Okay, that should be better. I'm having a few technical difficulties. Apologies. So we'll stick on maintenance screen just for a moment, and then we will get going. So, stupid adverts, nice. Apologies. Okay, yeah, stream's fine. You might have heard myself for a second, but I don't have anyone here to help me today. So I will swap back over from maintenance momentarily. Apologies for the slight inconvenience. I'm just getting a few things loaded that I might find useful. So this is Ero Pc F2, and I'm going to be your main commentator for the season. And well, today I'm alone, sadly, but it's fine. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get the chat loaded for interaction with everyone. Let me know how you're doing in the chat while I settle this up. Let me know how your day's going, and hopefully you're interested for this race that we are going to have. So, we have full wet conditions here for the first round of the season at Silverstone, which is always going to be interesting. This car around the track's an Alpine, so we will jump on board with Mcginty and give you a rundown of the track. And oh, my Mcginty shifted a bit across the grass. But we'll stay on board. And hold on, we don't need tyre data yet. I mean, the conditions might change. So, across the line to start a lap here at Silverstone, on board with Mcginty into Abbey. Has to drop it to 6th in the wet conditions, just probably getting used to the conditions here, and will take a few laps to acclimatise, as the grip seems incredibly low on these wet tyres at the moment. He's tiptoeing now round to the Wellington Straight, which is the first DRS zone. I'm not sure if we're going to see DRS in the race, especially if it stays like this. I don't think that's something that will happen. Normally you brake just after the 50 metre board there, in dry conditions, braking at the 50 metre board in wet, and then a little bit just so careful on the throttle as you then send it down the old start finish straight and into Cops, and having to drop it to 6th through there, only just keeping it in the track limit. So yeah, the grip's very low as Mcginty, heading through Maggots and Beckett's a big snap there, but the Alpine seems fine and he runs wide, unfortunately, as he rejoins the track. And then the Hanger Straight, the second DRS zone of the track, into Stowe, and that's going to be 5th gear, and crawling all the way through there. Now onto the last portion of the track. Very tentative on the throttle at the final corner, and again another big snap, and it's going to be a 44.6 for the Alpine. Next across the line will be Jimenez to start a lap, and then Milan Dirksen in the Haas. So that was the first lap. Apologies for maintenance screen again. Someone has atted me annoyingly. Like, can my engineer join since we don't have a full grid? Sorry, just dealing with something real quick, giving a very plain answer. So, back to qualifying. Milan Dirksen has gone quickest with a 42.7, followed by Rusnak with a yeah, 42.9, then 42.7. Then Mattia Jacques in the Ferrari goes even quicker with 42.4. Please do let me know if the stream's fine. And as that would be ideal if you can hear me, hear the stream. So, we're going to give you a rundown of this season's lineup. Obviously, we only have 13 drivers on the grid today, so it's not going to be really getting to know people on the track in the first round here. But as AJ goes 1.2 seconds quicker than anybody else, someone's been doing their wet practice. So, lining up in Mercedes this season is Adam Lapidge returning to Mercedes as always, and he'll be looking to go back-to-back in the Constructors' Championship, as himself and Dino won it last season, and Adam had a collection of good results. However, finished around just inside the top 10, I'm pretty sure, maybe 6th, 5th in the end, I'm not sure. And his new teammate will be Richard Decompte. I've been told how to pronounce that, considering if I try to pronounce it normally, I'm definitely going to sound like I'm just offending him, as he is a debut driver for this season and not racing today, so we don't really have a clue how he's going to do. In Red Bull, we have Rabi Melko returning once again, and it's great to see Rabi back. A long-standing driver in Ero, and former commentator, and pretty much everything. You name it, he's done it. And in PCF2 this year, was in PCF3 for a season last time around. However, has made the jump to PCF2 for this season, and his teammates Adam Matusiak in the Red Bull, who is a driver who was in PCF2 last season as he spins around, and he had a decent season as well. I believe finishing around the same place as Adam Lapidge in the championship. So it'll be interesting to see if he can repeat his fairly successful season from last time out. In the Ferraris, we have Paul Hill, PCF3 champion, making the jump to PCF2, so interesting to see how he does, as he currently sits second, 8 tenths behind AJ, and who's absolutely flying, and the only driver, he's flying off track, maybe would have been a better analogy of that one, as Paul Hill, PCF3 champion, like I said, very quick, raced in PCF2 a few times. I believe did he get a podium last season in a PCF2 race? I have not a clue, he might have done. And then we have I believe, new driver of Mattia Jacques in the Ferrari, who currently sits P4 and looking to be quite quick actually, so that will be interesting to see. Then next we have one of the favourite teams for the constructors, I'd say, this season, with Mclaren. Bodian isn't able to race today. PCF2 last season, I believe he was a race winner, if not he got second somewhere. As he'll be joined by Imshaz. The two drivers have partners up for this season, and they make a very strong combination. Imshaz not yet to go out onto the track, as both drivers were drivers who joined mid-season in PCF2 last time around, and I think this season it could be interesting to see how they do. Again, like I said, one of the favourites in my opinion, but obviously that could get completely proved wrong. As next we have Alpine with Lucas Mcginty, who had to retire last season, however is back this season, and I believe he stayed in Alpine, so staying loyal to them. And his teammate will be Borna Sverjniak. We're going to go for the pronunciation of that one, who isn't here today, but will probably be back for future races. again, I believe oh, that's Milan Dirksen in the wall. Technically a new driver, I think. I mean, he signed up as a reserve, but I don't think he raced once last season. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong. As then we have the AlphaTauris of AJ, who's currently having a great session. And I hope he's not too quick here, otherwise we're going to have to do something about that. And then we also have Jacob Bachinski, returning PC F2 driver. Again, sort of in that, just behind the front pack with both Adams last season. And another driver who could do very well this season. Aston Martins, we don't have either of them on the grid, but they were both in PCF2 last season, being Cody Reed and Robbie Kinnable. And, well, we're not going to get to see too much of them today, but both of them are returning drivers, with Cody scoring a podium last season, I believe, and also getting one taken away from him in Austria when penalties were removed, unfortunately for him. So, then we have Williams, as one of the Williams drivers is parked on the grass, of Martin Rusnak, who will be moving up from PCF3 to race in PCF2. And this is another team I, in my head, tipped to do well in the Constructors, which we'll have to see how that goes, as I predicted McLaren, Ferrari and Williams to be the top three, but I don't know, honestly, who knows at this rate. As his teammate, returning PCF2 champion, moving from Mercedes to Williams, is Dino Pushkadia, and, well, you don't really need to say much about Dino. He's going to definitely be fighting at the top consistently here, I reckon, and he's going to be taking the championship fight with himself all the way. Currently sitting in the 8th, however, that's not really representative, as we know what he can do. Alfa Romeo, we have Kopaszewski, another driver moving up from PCF3, not here today either. And then we have Jimien Shuk, a debut driver, I believe, joining him in Alfa Romeo. And then finally we have Haas, which has Milan Dirksen, brother of Lucas Dirksen, who has raced in the league last season, and Hubert Rennes, who's not here today. And that's going to round out your grid. Do you have any of the reserves on the grid today? No, we don't. Apologies. Tiny maintenance, and we move on. Someone's just being annoying. Okay. So, now I can get the chat open and read all of your lovely messages as well, because it wasn't loading properly. So, 4 minutes left of the session. Most drivers in the pit lane. Few out on track, like Dino, who's 9/10 up here. And we'll be looking to find a little bit more time to try and challenge AJ at the top. As the maintenance screen, oh, that is lagging like hell. I don't know if that's just on my end or if the stream's actually lagging really badly. If someone could let me know, it'd be ideal. As oh my, that looks bad. Dino still improving here. Currently on a 42.9. Has a lot of room for improvement. And in the final section, Luke, could you look at helper chat? Yes, Lucas, you can join me if you would like to. That would be fine. As Dino puts it into second place with a 41.7. Next round will be Rabbi Melko, who's invalidated. So it will be Jimien Shuk who goes to the pits, actually. And so does Imshaz. I'm interested to see, is anyone coming out? No one's going out on Inters. Everyone's sticking with the wet tyres at the moment. That I'm just trying to figure out if the stream's actually lagging bad or not, because that is the stream's laggy but manageable. I'm going to reduce stuff off my PC to try and reduce lag, because I had a lot of stuff open because I wanted to do a few things. And well, cannot find Lucas to invite. In case he wanted to join for commentary, that's great. So I'm not going to be able to invite people. So I'm not going to be able to see the chat for the rest of this, as we have 1 minute 28 left to go. Apologies for the constant issues I'm having today. I literally had to get back and set this up in about 2 minutes, as it's just got very light all of a sudden. As I've tabbed back on, and we have a few cars in the final sector of Maciejak starting a lap. I believe Rabbi Melko, who goes 2 seconds quicker. However, that does not move him out of 12th place at the moment, as Sector 1 something's happened. Let's go on board with Mcginty, and it's just people moving out of the way, that's fine. So, Milan Dirksen will be next to cross the line, and drops to 3rd through Stowe there, interestingly. As we have 36 seconds, so if this lap is not the best, then he will have a chance to improve one more time, but he will be the final driver to have one more go at a lap here, as he jumps to 6th place with a 42.3. And that's going to be it for anyone else to start any new runs, as this is going to be everyone's final run. AJ's improving by 2.5 tenths here, and might get into the 1 minute 40s, which would be very fast. Jimmy Enshuk has invalidated, and that's the end of his session, as AJ just rounding the final corner, here on the run to the line, keeps the traction very well, and it's a 140.6. That is very fast. As Rusnak is not improving, but Tuziak goes to the pits. But I mean, everyone's going to the pits here. As Maciejak, is he improving? I didn't see the sector splits. Round to the line. It's going to be a 141.4, and keeps him a second. Anyone else? Adam Lapage, as he's still going. He was a 10th down though at the middle sector, so I don't know if he's going to be able to improve as he heads right to the line, and he does jump up to 6th place actually. Milan Dirksen has invalidated, and so has Rabi, so that's going to be the end of this session. Right. I now need to find a way to get Lucas in.
Yeah, I'm there. Just
Yeah.
not talking.
Are you in the session?
No, F1, I couldn't open Steam overlay.
Hold up, if I need to find you on my friends list, see if I can even invite you. That might work. It sent an EA invite, that doesn't do anything. Great.
An EA invite? Crossplay enabled?
No, crossplay's disabled, but I can only send an EA invite.
Oh no, I have an invite from you.
See if it lets you join. It might do.
One just crashed.
Why maintenance for 3 minutes? Have I forgot to swap the screens? Oh, bloody hell, it's so confusing because I'm trying to like fix stuff.
I have weather report for the race. So it might be interesting because it's going to be full wet race.
So it's going to be like qualifying. Ah.
Yes, I heard that. Oh, actually, I'm in Silverstone at the moment, so I know it.
This is annoying. I don't know. It's the screen actually swapping. You might want to load the stream and check for me because I can't
Yeah,
do
sure.
it.
My F1 is not responding.
That's not great.
I hate that game, man.
And it is full wet tyres in the garage, so that is going to be interesting. As oh my, I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm checking now.
I don't know if formation lap's been re-enabled. I think it has since the tire temperatures have been
Yeah,
fixed.
this screen is good.
Screen's good. Okay, that's
Yes,
fine. That's good to know. I
we're
don't know.
starting in like not that much time.
I don't know if you need another invite, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I could join mid-session.
Okay.
It's
So we do
starting.
actually have a formation lap, which is
Yeah, they turn on.
and yes, full wet conditions for everyone, so we don't need to show the tyres. As I believe it's going to stay this way for the entirety of the race, maybe.
Let's hope it works now.
Just
Better does.
let me know if you need another invite.
I got an invite from you.
You
I'm
already got
joining.
one. Okay, that's fine.
Isn't the lobby like friends only open?
It might be. So you might. Yeah, there you go. You're in. It says anyway. This is going to be confusing because you got your brother racing and now you're now commentating with me.
Yeah. I hope. No, I think he doesn't like care. I know
So,
his driving
oh,
style.
that's AJ reigned on the formation lap. That's not one.
Oh, he spun.
He sent it all the way off track there.
That's
That was,
the leader, right?
yeah, that was wholesale by 8/10ths.
Yeah, I know Milan's driving style, so I wasn't like really surprised when he went into third gear in Stowe. Like I knew it wasn't. Yeah, he on wet conditions he does the weird things you can imagine.
So the two Ferraris are going to be the first to make it to the grid here, as well. Oh, AJ's just going past people to regain his spots back to the grid.
Yeah, I don't know anyone's last name except my brother's one. I know Twinsicle, that's Hill, and Shogun Melko.
Yeah.
That's all I know, and I should be enough. I'll just yeah. What's that?
So everyone lining up to the grid. How many are going to get disqualified? Do you reckon? I'm saying 3.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
AJ.
yeah. AJ's been disqualified.
You can see it on the left on the leaderboard. It will say if you're disqualified, it
Yeah,
will be black.
I can see. And
Yeah, we've
I was
unlocked
correct.
2.
3, yeah. So we are going to be starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away here in Silverstone, and everyone is crawling off the line as Jack looked to have a better initial launch. However, in the second phase, couldn't keep up to AJ, who flies off through turn 1. Everyone sort of just funneling through behind and keeping it clean at the moment as Paul Hill side by side with Dino there. However, can't really get a look in, and now is vulnerable to Adam, who's trying to make a move. However, gets cut off there a bit and has to take avoiding action. That allows Milan to get past him and up into 6th as everyone's sort of just trying to be careful here as, well, the wet conditions are quite tricky to drive in, as qualifying definitely showed. As
I think they all listened to Liam's message saying they had to be careful.
Oh, and
of
that's
some required
Snack gone already at the back of the grid. And a safety car.
Safety car.
Oh, that didn't last
Right.
long.
So I'm watching position change, and the best start were from the AlphaTauri in third, the
Bachinski.
Alfa Romeo in 8th, and from the Mclaren in 11th.
And AJ's got a drive through, and he's parked it on
Skill
the
issue.
track.
Skill issue. Ooh, that's not fine. I think that might be a glitch. The Delta just immediately get 5 seconds down.
Yeah, that
I
looks
hope
weird.
they
He literally parked it on the track, and Nate's not letting him re-overtake Massey Jack.
Yeah.
So,
He would have been lost anyway.
yeah.
Luckily, sadly for him, it's wet race. He won't like catch, because our
Yeah.
cars will be like same pace.
I mean, if he can repeat his qualifying pace as Adams in, is that with damage? I don't know. And he keeps jumping positions, which isn't ideal. That is for Inters actually. Hello. So that's a change very quickly. And Adam's going to be the first to go for it, and Imshaz has joined him as well. So 2 drivers going for intermediates early on here. Suggesting the rain's probably going to get a bit lighter soon. As at the moment it's definitely still full wet conditions on the track. There's not even... It's a slight bit of a dry line. But that's going
Who are on the wet tires?
Adam and
On the
back to
Adam
swap to
and-
Inters.
Yeah, Adam Lampage in the 11th then. I know that one as well.
And then,
Yeah, so might be Inters. I don't know.
I think maybe they're going for a gamble that they won't have to pit
the
if it does
McLaren.
get to Inters.
Yeah, the McLaren here just, I reckon he got a warning for that cutting turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn 5. That's the last corner of sector 1.
As Mcginty's got a
5, 6,
penalty
7.
for a collision with Matuzia. So the safety car's causing issues already amongst the grid.
Yeah. It's such, safety cars still have to be fixed, but I reckon would be fixed in and then next update, maybe a bit later.
So I think we'll probably have to stay behind the safety car for one more lap, and then, well, we'll probably be underway again. But it's a unfortunate start for Martin Rosnack in the Williams, who unfortunately retired on lap 1 here. As we will have one more lap here under the safety car. Anyone else choosing to pit? Yeah, a few guys are in. That's Paul and Adam Matuziak, and also Lucas Mcginty. So that's 3 more drivers into the pit lane, presumably for Inters. Let's have a look at the tyres.
The leaderboard is going crazy.
Yeah, the
So
pit
safety
lane.
car will be another lap then, except they catch up in less than a lap.
Yeah, they've all gone for
I don't
Inters.
think they will. I don't think they will catch up in less than a lap. So I reckon we're going to get another lap of safety car. This is a second lap, right? Or is this third lap already?
We're on lap 3 already.
Oh, then this is the last lap. Then they have to catch up in less than a lap. Which I think is impossible here in wet conditions because the streets are so long.
I think Paul Hill and Adam Matuziak might. McGinty, I don't think so.
No, he won't make it. I think he had wing damage. I'm sure he had wing damage.
Maybe from contact with Matuziak. So he did get a penalty for that, and he also had to serve the penalty too.
Yeah.
So that dropped him even
yeah.
further.
Unfortunately. They made it. Yeah, Paul made it. I don't know about Red Bull.
Matuziak's just 1 corner behind, so he'll definitely catch. And it's also interesting to see, when the safety car ends. I wonder if anyone's like massively underfueled here, considering wet conditions.
I I'm watching.
For me, every single person has one, but I think that's just because of safety car.
No, I can see. You can look at the steering wheel. At the steering wheel of the leader, I see 22.4 now.
I see minus 0.8. It says.
Oh yeah, it says yeah, and the rest are all overfueled. 2 laps, a half a lap.
Yeah.
Safety cars in 1 lap for Milan, plus 1.4. Melko plus 3 laps. And then Lampage, Adam is on -1.
So Adam's underfueled a lot.
The same for the leader, also on nearly -1.0.
It's quite a quick restart here, actually, from Masiujak, who...
Oh, he's already going?
Yeah. He's caught them by 1.5 seconds here. That's a good restart from the Ferrari. And he'll be off into the distance now. As Milan getting close to the back of Dino there, but
it's Dino.
Quite close enough.
Get him. 5-1.
At the back, Matusiak has lost position to Mcginty. And oh, there's a yellow flags. I'm not sure who that's for. That was Matusiak potentially. Yeah. That's Milan all over the back of Dino here and looking quite comfortable in the wet conditions. However, Dino's not one to go down without a fight, definitely not. As AJ's already closed half a second back to Masiujak, which is ridiculous, and he's absolutely fine. Oh, he's letting him through. Maybe that was...
Yeah, he has to drive through. I don't think he wants a battle.
Oh, it could also be when AJ had to park on track, and so he's just giving the place back in.
Oh yeah,
respect. So
yeah, might be as well. He gave up. Yeah, he still has 1.5.
Yeah,
lead,
so that's...
so he didn't give up any. Yeah, half a second.
That's
maybe.
good to see. That he's just respecting what had happened. As the Inter-runners aren't really making too many inroads. Adam is close to the back of Robbie Melko, as a lot of the guys are now coming into the pit lane actually.
Yeah,
all of the
I think
all of the
AJ is screwed because he will have to drive through now instead of boxing for Inters, so he's screwed.
Masiujak's gonna have to make up as much time as he can, but it looks drier now. So I think he may have missed a lap to pit, and he could get undercut here. However, the guys on Inters, whilst the tyre wear will definitely be quite bad towards the end of the race for them, they should be able to go all the way. As Mcginty having a bit of a moment there and having to cut some grass to get back onto the track, as he's also gone deep into the corner, and that's let Paul Hill get alongside him. Paul's going to try and hang it round the outside here. However, Mcginty is just able to defend that, as the gap at the front is 6.5 seconds. And
yeah, he's closing in.
Yeah, Adam, it's sort of just slowly closing. However, the Inters definitely are the better tyre now. And the rain is very light.
So I think the Alpine, Lampage and Hill made the right call.
Yeah.
Same with the McLaren, and then
the Red Bull,
the other Red Bull spun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's in leader.
Yeah. Adam's going to lead this race. Going on to lap 6 here. So a good strategy call there from the Mercedes. Well, I'm interested to see now with how light the rain's getting. Do we think it's going to swap to dries at all?
Not yet.
Well, obviously not
yet.
And I think
my brother said it's going to be full wet. So I think he did not see the drop.
Oh, that's a bit of a drift there from Mcginty. And that's let Paul Hill through.
Light rain. So I think I will keep raining until the end. But we'll see. And I think Wookie got undercutted badly, mate.
As a little bit of contact there between Mcginty and Paul Hill. Paul Hill runs wide as Mcginty's trying to go on the outside. Paul's got a better exit and just didn't have the space to go for the move there, and that's allowing the McLaren to get into this fight as well. As he come now through Cops, and Mcginty keeping the position as Adams now built a 1.4 second lead. So he's got a bit of breathing space for now, and can afford a slight error. However, Mcginty's taken all that time back out of Maggots and Beckett's there. As that gap's now under a second again. Obviously we're not going to have any DRS because it's raining, but it will be interesting to see how these guys are going to manage the race from this point onwards as well. The front five at the moment, if it stays the same, are probably going to finish the front five, unless they're going to make any serious mistakes. As well, there's quite a big gap backwards of almost 15 seconds to Bachinski. So those who didn't pit under safety car really have suffered here, and we'll definitely need another safety car as Milan Dirksen sets the fastest lap with a 41.7 for now. As Mcginty getting quite close to the back of Adam, but he just seems to struggle a little bit with the braking, and lost about 3/10 there. And that's allowed Paul Hill to close back up, and Paul is deploying the battery, so he's trying to attack, but Mcginty looks to be running decently low downforces. Just going into Maggots and Beckett's, he's just closed 2/10 to Adam. And he's definitely running very low downforce, but Paul's going to go for an attack here. Deploying the battery, and Mcginty just using the raw straight line speed he's got. He's going to go for a move into Stowe on Adam. Has had a look to the inside, however Adam has defended that nicely. Just watching on board with Paul Hill. Is Mcginty going to try a move? He looks to the outside, and he managed to get his nose in, and he might get a position here. As Paul's just watching this in case of any mistakes from these two, as Adam goes a little bit wide off the track, and Paul's managed to get him as well, so Adam losing 2 places there in a space of about 3 corners. Oh, 2 corners actually. As Paul Hill almost ran into the back of Mcginty there, as Bachinski sets a 40.3 and has taken well, nearly 2 seconds out of Adam Matusiak on that last lap alone, which is a great effort from the AlphaTauri. So the tyres aren't going to be much fresher, but definitely enough to where it's going to make an effect, as AJ completely destroys everyone else's fastest laps with a 39.6.
Wow. Wow.
Starting to think AJ is very quick. As the front three all sort of sticking together, however Adam just loses so much through the high speed corners and also in the straight lines, so not exactly the best of strategy call or setup calls for Adam, it seems, as the front two are beginning to pull away from him. And well, if he's not picking up the pace, then he might fall into the grasps of Imchiaz soon, as these front two still very close, as Paul has a massive moment there and he's into the gravel, and that's going to allow Adam back past and up into second again. As his yellow flags, I believe that's Ravi Melko, who spun on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. As Paul now has to get back past Adam, and Adam, yeah, gaining a lot in the slow speed corners of Sector 1 there. However, he just loses it all immediately, which probably isn't what he wants, as AJ sets a 38.8. Hold on. I just want to check everyone else's fastest laps real quick, because nobody else has even got into the 1 minute 39s, and AJ's done a 38.8. So he's over a second quicker than everyone else on every lap right now.
And he doesn't even use ERS. You can see the AlphaTauri in 6th place has 22% battery, and then AJ still has 90%. So that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the pace is very quick, and well, a lap quicker. He could get all the way up to 6th in this race if he just continued the pace he was at.
The top, the rest, so 6 to 12, are closing in, and now the AlphaTauri in 6 is closing in on the top 5.
Yeah.
3 seconds for 2 laps, or 3 laps, something like that. They're closing in.
Right, there's no more safety cars. They might just make it before the end of the race, I think. But they'll be close, as well, 16 laps, that'll mean, yeah, around 10 or 11 seconds close in, so it'll be close at the end, if things stay how they are. However, anything can change in the blink of an eye, as Adam picks up a 3-second penalty, and that's the first of the day. That's not going to help him at the moment, as just having a watch of this battle. 4th place at the moment, as seems like Maciejak doesn't really want to fight it, as he knows Bachinski is closing in, but he sees a gap on the inside there and goes for it, and there's contact there, and that was a really weird collision, as it just brought them both to a halt essentially, and that's going to cut off about 1.5 seconds of their progress they've made, which is not what they needed, as Maciejak is really trying to attack here. And he might be able to use a bit of his battery on the exit of Maggots and Beckett here to try and make a move down the hanger straight. However, Mcginty gets a great drive out the corner, and that should keep him safe for now, as Paul Hill has caught right up to the back of Adam Lapage again. And we'll be looking to dispatch of the Mercedes. And he's going to try on the inside, but Adam can brake so much later with his setup here. And has definitely focused heavily on just being able to brake as late as possible and maximising the traction through low speed corners, as Paul has a massive snap of oversteer there. As AJ goes even quicker with a 38.3 now. I still don't know if anyone's yet to get into the 39s, and no, they're not. So he's about 1.5, 2 seconds a lap quicker than the majority of the grid.
I think he might, if he speeds up, he might get into 6.
Yeah.
But then he needs to do some smooth overtaking, like pass everyone easily without battling. And otherwise he might get Milan in 8th. Might be no in 9, I'm not sure, somewhere around there. Except there's gonna be a safety car, and then I think he would still. I think if there's going to be safety car in the race, then I think that that's gonna win, as Paul Hill overtook Adam.
Yeah, nice move there into Stoke. However, these guys have got Imchas to worry about, who's slowly been building up the pace here a bit and managed to catch onto the back of these two. It'll be interesting to see as Maciejak and Mcginty actually a 1 second gap, so something might have happened there through Stars. I saw Maciejak off the track a bit, as Paul runs very deep into the corner. And Adam's trying to get as much traction at the corner to go for an attack, however, just playing it very cautious up the gears there. And, well, that's not going to help him get a run on Paul. As currently Mcginty leads with a 2.5 second gap, so the Alpine driver at the moment should be feeling quite comfortable. However, Paul's already taken 3 attempts out of that after getting past Adam, so Paul might have something to say about it. As Adam's already dropped a second off the back of the Ferrari. But Paul actually picks up a 3-second time penalty. Which, if he does get past Mcginty, he's now going to have to build a 3-second gap, which, well, Mcginty's just going to defend as much as he can to just pester Paul for a while, mate. And, to be honest, I don't blame him if he does do that, as well. That would work.
The Alfa in P7 is struggling because Hookie, the Ferrari, got past, and Milan is closing in like crazy now.
Having a look, he doesn't seem to have any visual damage on the car. However, there may be some invisible damage that we can't see. As that would be unfortunate for Bachinski, who was running quite well on the pace and was potentially on course to catch up, as AJ does a 37.9.
Flying.
A few other drivers have made it into the 39s now, and Maciejczak's also doing very good pace as well. As, I've just jinxed him completely.
Oh, he's spun.
Yep, he's managed to catch it really well and keep it at the barriers, but that's going to drop him all the way down to 9th now, as Dino swoops up the inside.
No damage.
Looks like a bit of consistency is something that's affecting the drivers here. As Robbie Milko picks up a 3-second penalty as I say that. And also Adam Matusiak just for good measures.
Going to be penalty paradise.
Is it just me or has the rain completely stopped?
No, it's not you. Or it might be my ultra low settings, but I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like there's no more rain. And also Paul Hill's caught up to the back of Mcginty. So I'm interested to see if anyone's going to jump into the pit lane soon.
I might. I think that's the reason why some drivers end up the 139. I reckon for what tire is coming in. Wet. If he goes for dries too early. Previous season I went in at Belgium. I went way too early, and that cost me my race. I think it was with you I pitted so early. Oh no, it was
medium tires. So this either is going to work really well or is going to just ruin Bachinski's race here. As I think maybe he should have stayed out 1 or 2 laps longer. But with the position he was in, he was struggling to keep the cars behind, so maybe he thought just jump out and battle in other cars and try and...
He nearly crashed his pit exit.
Yeah, it's actually still raining in Sector 1 for me.
No, not even Sector 1. It just stopped raining.
Yeah, he's really struggling on those mediums, and it's definitely not time for dries yet. As Paul Hill using a bit of the battery to try get closer to Mcginty. And I don't think anyone's going to pit this time round, as it's still not time for the dries. As Paul looked to send it, but didn't. As he just doesn't get great traction at the final corner, and that's going to give him a gap to have to close in again. As we have Dino here trying to get past Milan, and Maciejczak picks up a penalty. Following these two very closely. As Milan at the moment just trying his best to defend. And he's doing an alright job at doing so at the moment, as AJ does a 37.2 now. And for me, there's a bit of spray well, a bit of rain for like a tiny part of sector 1 as Dino gives Milan a little bit of a tap there. However, nothing that's going to cause any harm to either of them, I don't think. As well, the track is definitely drying out now. As there's more of a dry line forming as Imshash joins the list of penalties. And Paul Hill is looking to go for a move here, as Mcginty got a poor exit out of Maggots and Beckett, so Paul's going to try it on the outside, down towards Stowe. Mcginty trying to keep his nose in, as he's going to just concede the position for now, as long as the driver's hitting yet, as Bachinski is really struggling on those mediums. And maybe we might not see drivers swapping to dries this race, as Milan loses his position to Dino, and Jacques going to go for a dive on the inside of the Haas, as the game gives a dreadful camera angle.
Amazing winker.
Just squeezes him off there, and AJ's now here and makes a move, but that was off the track. And yeah, he's backing off, it looks like, a little bit to try and give back the position. And yeah, he's just going to brake later on the outside and just swoop that position back. Jacques still trying to fight it. However, AJ is going to get the position and move up to 8th for now. As Jacques might try send it on the inside here. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen for the Ferrari. Still all over the back of the AlphaTauri here, but just unable to make a move. As just a 1.5 gap. Going into Cops as AJ runs a little bit wide there. These guys are so close, and even with battling, they've got up to the back of Milan here. As Mcginty pits.
I hope he
Milan,
isn't going for dry.
That's close. As the Ferrari's on the grass, and that's a big collision. That's Jacques into the wall there, and that's a safety car.
Safety car. Okay, so if I was Milan, I would have. Oh, he crosses the pit lane entry. I think he's gonna get a penalty for that. Plus
And
5 seconds time
5
penalty.
seconds of speeding.
They're going for
that's
softs. That's too ambitious, mate. You're not gonna make that. Right, so
what's just happened there? Paul Hill's teleporting.
He's gonna have 5 seconds time penalty plus another 5 seconds time penalty for crossing the pit lane entry line. I reckon.
AJ's gone for mediums.
If it's going to be reported, then I think it's going to be.
Only 2 drivers going for softs, everyone else going for mediums. Interestingly enough, as I'm just saying, look at these guys here and just look how slow they're having to drive because the delta's just broke.
Milan is. Someone else also crossed the pit lane. Oh, they're all crossing the pit lane exit line. Gonna be penalty Valhalla here. But no, I heard Milan shouting all over the place. So I think he meant the wrong call, or is not happy.
Well, the Ferrari went onto the grass trying to overtake her, but there was initially space over that gap closed with Milan defending, and then...
Yeah, then it's good.
Well, contact was inevitable. So, as Jacques now picks up a drive through.
Oh, AJ is off.
Oh, yeah, AJ's onto the gravel. So maybe still a bit slippy. As Adams... He's parked it in the pit lane.
He binned it.
I'm so confused. Adam tried overtaking Bachinski into the pit lane and then had to park it because of the delta.
Yeah, I think everyone is going. Yeah, they should. I don't know what the weather report is saying, but I think they might. Ooh, someone misses his wing.
Softs.
But I think they need to stay on inters
Paul Hill's got mediums.
because it's wet.
Everyone's gone for dries.
Yes, but we're gonna see understeer.
Is Mcginty
All
going
over.
to... Where's he going to come out? I think he's still going to be behind Paul here, and Paul does retain the lead of the race. Everybody's on mediums and everyone else behind's on softs. So that's going to be an absolute nightmare for him to have to defend initially. However, those softs
Oh, Milan is
will
in again.
die. Maybe serving the 5 seconds.
Can you do that on?
Yeah, you can
On-
serve it on
oh,
the safety
someone-
car as
oh,
Matthew
he's-
Jacques retired
he's
in the pit
tired.
lane.
Yeah, I got the drive through. It's done.
Yeah.
There was. Oh, he got wing damage. I think he spinned in the pit lane. He's getting a new win.
And also some fresh soft tyres now. So he's going to go on attack mode, just like everyone else.
You're not gonna make that 80. Yeah,
I think you might
Might.
just about now.
he might make it. It's gonna be behind Melko, which is not ideal.
And
You might say.
he's not going to be behind Mcginty, who currently sits a lap down after the call for mediums, and the track's now dry, so...
Yeah, okay, they all made the right call.
Yeah, the magic's been deployed, and...
Yeah, if I was the number 12 officer, I would have gone into the pit and retired. He's a lap down. There's no way he's gonna re-overtake everyone, then gets another safety car.
I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a chaotic restart. Now everyone on dries. And Paul Hill's going to have to defend for his life. Because if he can keep soft runners behind, his mediums will become better after about 4 laps, so...
I think AJ has got a big chance of winning this race.
Yeah, he doesn't have a penalty.
He's on the wrong tires. He's on the wrong tires, that's for sure. He's done 7th, and I think fastest man on track. Fastest man on competition. I think, yeah, fastest man on track by far.
Surprised he hasn't just
So,
gone for hards for the fun of it. As at this race, if he continued his pace from earlier, he'd probably still win the race on hards.
might if he just stick on inters, he would have won as well. Wets. No, I don't think he will made it on inters.
Yeah, just tech tires off the car. Doesn't need him clearly.
Yeah. But if I was AJ, I don't. Oh, I wouldn't risk it to go on hards, because hards have to warm up for 2 laps, 1.5.
I'm not
That
sure
will
if
take
it's
ages.
just a visual glitch, but at turn 1 for me, there's still rain. Like,
Yeah, same. I'm watching Milan now. He's going into turn 1. Yeah, he's from rain from the spring. So
if, as soon as they get out of that portion of the track, it goes away. So maybe still something there, so maybe the drivers won't be going flat out through.
I don't think they will be
Are they?
going flat out for the first 2 laps there. And if they're going flat out, you know they're pushing like crazy.
Paul's going to have to get his tyres a bit, or try to warm his tyres a bit more than others here. Well, he's on the mediums. He's also going to have to try and time this restart well. But if he can recreate what his teammate did, then he's not going to have an issue. So
Milan is
it
there.
will be interesting to see how he can cope off the restart. There's just 7 laps to go. Well,
Safety car coming in.
I don't know.
He's still
Paul's-
flashing. Or is he
Paul's
no, he's
not really catching the safety car.
No, I think safety car is not flashing anymore now.
Is it going in?
I can't. It's not. Yeah, he's coming.
I guess we just didn't get the message.
Oh, yeah, he's going already.
He's already got the safety
Yeah,
car.
no, you
though.
can't. You
Oh,
can't.
no,
you
the
can't.
safety car's going in there.
I think he just wanted to create the gap so he can like push and then he gets very hot tires. Yeah.
He's going to go out the final corner, but has absolutely no traction. And Mcginty's right on the back of him already. And they're going to be side by side down towards turn 1. This is going to be an interesting place to try and make a move. But Paul manages to keep the position for now. Mcginty's going to try dive up the inside. A little bit of contact between the two. As Paul here just breaks later, but gets switchbacked by Mcginty, who takes the lead of this race again. And Paul's now got to defend from Adam, who's going to try go down the inside. And he's got everyone all piling in behind here. As Adam looks for the move. As Imchiaz also looking for a move on Adam, but just has to back out of that. As Dino also with no penalties actually on the back of this. So if he can just keep it clean, this could be a podium for the Williams. As Milan Dirksen picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help him.
Oh, he's probably shouting all the way, all over the place, but no, he isn't.
As Imchiaz here, close to the back of Adam, deploying the battery, and would he be able to move himself up into the podium places? As there's a bit of contact between them there, it looked like. As Imchiaz does get the position for now, and will maintain the podium places. Will he? No, he won't because of the gap. As AJ sets the fastest lap on mediums, even though he's in a massive train. Which
he's gonna get past the Red Bull here. Yes.
Oh, that's a bit
of contact. That's
bit
not
of
a nice
move.
overtake.
Oh my, what is going on? Adam Matusiak just dived it back on him.
Yeah, I think he was a bit angry. I clipped that for the ones who want that. Had an amazing cue there.
Hopefully they keep it a bit more civil here, as that wasn't particularly what we like to see on track. However, that has now created a gap that AJ's going to have to close as Mcginty picks up a penalty and leaves just 3 drivers without a penalty, actually. As Paul is doing very well, to be fair, on his mediums. As soon as he's got up to temperature, he's actually quick now. And potentially the softs are already dying off as through Maggots and Beckett's he gains 2 tenths, almost 3 on Mcginty. And with the RS next lap, maybe Paul still could win. Actually,
he has to overtake because he has 3-second time penalty and the leader does not have 3 seconds.
It all depends on if Mcginty gets a penalty, really. As well, if he doesn't, then he's pretty much guaranteed to win, unless he makes a mistake. Milan's around at the back. As fastest lap, filtering through everyone there at the start of that.
Milan only has to finish for a point, so I think he's not gonna crash. I think what I think he's gonna do is gonna hunt Malco.
Oh, Mcginty's gone. Mcginty's gone.
Or hope someone crashes. Which just happened.
From the lead of the race, that drops him off now. So this is potentially a fight for the race win here with everyone on penalties. However, Dino doesn't have a penalty and might win this race just purely based on that. However, this is going to get very competitive now, I feel. And everyone's going to be jostling for positions, knowing that Mcginty's now no longer in this fight, as AJ, side by side with Matusiak, going towards Cops. And the AlphaTauri just sticks his nose up the inside and gets the move done, as Milan Dirksen has crashed.
Oh, he binned it? No way.
No, he's retired on track. Well, that's going to be a penalty.
Gonna be... Oh, he didn't read the rules.
Dino going for a move on Adam here, potentially. To the outside, as well, Dino knows AJ also doesn't have a penalty. Potentially a penalty coming the way of both AJ and Matusiak for just slamming into each other, which wasn't great, as AJ's dived a move there. And Adam's been caught, and Adam's gone. As these guys are really going at each other's throats here, just absolutely murdering each other consistently.
Oh, he got a 3-second time penalty as well, so I think he might get that one warning removed.
As this could be the fight for the win here. On penalties between Dino and AJ, as AJ gets a better exit than Dino. And he's now going to use battery and DRS to try and get past the Williams. And he has done it. As the front two are also side by side here, Imchaz trying to get past Paul Hill.
That's for the last podium position.
And it's so close between them there. But Imchaz looks to have had the move completed. As Dino's also right on the back of AJ still.
AJ has to pass them because he might have a potential penalty, which will might get him out of the podium.
As Dino here, right on the back of AJ. He's going to need to use all the battery he's got, but he's not going to use it yet. As Adam's just picking up penalties all over the place. I think he's quite frustrated after what's just happened. I wouldn't be surprised. As well, he got completely just barged off track and then taken out, which is unfortunate. As the front six here are all so close, any minor contact or mistake could change everything. As AJ right on the back of Paul here, he's not going to try moving to turn one, fortunately, otherwise that there'd be two cars flying off the track.
No, that's unfortunately, because then you have some content. Now you don't have content.
As this is one way to end the race. This is yellow flags, I don't know what that's for.
Alfa Romeo's one.
Jimmy and Shucky
Alfa
drops
Romeo
back off the back of the pack. And someone else has gone, Matusiak as well. And Adam's back up to 5th already. As AJ just trying to weave his way into any gap possible to get past Paul, as he knows if he can put a car in front.
Melka's gonna get some sweet points.
That could defend him from Dino. As Dino just struggling a little bit on the pace at the moment, it seems. He might be playing it safe. As the front three all still so close. Paul's got loads of battery left to play with though. So Paul's in a great spot and he's going to go for the move on Imchaz on the outside of Stowe. As Imchaz manages to just keep his car in front for now. And it was very close between the two of them, as AJ's now right on the back of these two. And again, right on the back of Paul, going down towards turn one, trying to use battery. However, Paul has superior straight line speed just to keep himself in front. As will AJ send a dive? No, he will not. As we're on the penultimate lap. Paul's focus is going to be on Imchaz, but he knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to lose the place to AJ. I'm not sure how much that will happen. As AJ gets a penalty.
So Dino is in for the win now.
And now AJ's going to have to just go for it, as he's going to go for the move here on Paul. And they're going to be side by side. It's going to be so close between the two of them. Paul's going to just about keep it hung in there. But AJ looks to have gained the position. Paul's not going to give up fighting this one though. And he's going to look for a move into Cops on the outside. And they're going to be side by side through Cops. And they've just about kept that. This is great racing between the two of them. It's going to continue into Maggots and Beckett's. AJ just backs off there. He's going to get the DRS as Dino's in a great spot now. And all he has to do is just keep it on the track as Paul manages to get DRS and has the battery to defend, but next lap he won't, as AJ's going to have to get a move on, as Dino's going to be in a feeling much better now, knowing he doesn't have to make any moves now. All he has to do is just sit close to these guys, as this is going to be so close for all the podium positions here right at the end of this race, as AJ again getting a great run at the final corner. He's going to pull alongside Paul here and go for a move into turn one. As there's going to be contact between the two and they're both gone, and that's those two gone round, as massive contact between them there.
However, that didn't happen now.
Dino now doesn't have DRS. Sorry, he's going to actually have to turn up the pace a bit just to be able to keep with Imchaz. He has got a good, a fine gap though, as Paul rejoins all the way back down in 7th, as that's definitely going to be a penalty for someone. And potentially...
He's on again.
Oh no, it goes from bad to worse, and I just feel bad for Paul there. I won't be surprised after all of this, with penalties applied, etc., if Jimmy Enshuk gets a podium, or even Rabi Melko, as I think the Alfa Romeo did spin at him as well. But it's definitely going to be high tensions after this race, as... Well, Imchaz is going to win this race on track, I think.
Do you know who is the FIA of the F2?
I believe Johnny is...
So Johnny's gonna have...
Johnny's going to have a very busy
race,
time.
He's gonna have some, busy time, yes. After his own race, which he'll probably win.
There's Imchaz here, right in the final corners to win it on track. We're on penalties. I said he'd be in the fight this season, and Dino takes the first race win here of season 8. AJ comes across the line on the podium. Will he keep that? I don't know. Jimmy Enshuk jumps to 4th. Rabi jumps to 5th, but Mcginty jumps all of them to go to 4th. As it's a 25 thousandths gap there between Mcginty and Jimmy Enshuk. Oh my, that got very gruesome towards the end there. Some of the driving was very questionable, I will say. As Bachinski takes the fastest lap home. Gets him 2 points, to be fair. So
yeah, the crash on the first corner was very weird, because there was only, as I see Watch saying now, was only one contact in it, and then the other one was all EA. Like, it looked like they collided again, but they actually didn't.
I think just the first contact sent them both sideways, pretty much, from what I saw, and yeah. That one's going to be an interesting one in the steward's room. As Mcginty gets driver of the day for this race. I can't lie, I might just give it to Dino just for keeping it clean, keeping it on the track, not causing any issues, and that's how you get a race win.
Rabi Melko also had a great result, because he
was very far behind on the podium. He just managed to keep it on the track as well at the end, and that's what matters. In the key moments, you just have to keep it calm, keep it on track, and that's how you get good results.
The Alpine still managed to get in P4.
Yeah, just because he didn't have penalties. So that says a lot about this race. I think Adam might be able to get a penalty or 2 removed as well. He got 1 when he got spun off the track. Yeah, he got a double warning and potentially another double warning. He might have got 4 in 1 there, actually. And it shouldn't have even been 1 as well. He got spun off the track, so... yeah. That's interesting. We're going to put on maintenance. And we're going to ask... Well... That's going to sum up this race. I will see if any of these guys want driver interviews on the podium, as that's something I'm interested to do.
I got the race director clip, by the way.
I also have it on the stream as well.
Okay, I got some moments Johnny might want to look at. Some drivers exceeding track limits, pit entry, all that shit. Oh, it's too large.
Let's see. 3 a.m. gonna sleep. Okay, well, I don't know if anyone's gonna join us here. Hopefully, maybe one of them might. We will just have to see. You've got the race director there as well. Just for anyone who needs it. So I'll give everyone just a quick minute, just to let's just say calm down after that race, as that was well, a bit ridiculous. And I think a lot of stuff's going to be reported there. I don't know if we're going to get any responses from anyone. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a response here, sadly.
I don't think yes.
Well, we may have got, we may get them next week. I don't know. Hold up, let's have a look.
Loot noises.
Yeah, I don't think. You know, Rabbi wants to come speak to us. Let's get Rabbi in
Amazing.
here. Rabbi had a good drive at the end there.
Yeah.
So we'll move over
I'm
to
watching the incident. I'm watching the incident from Milan, AJ, and the Ferrari in here, which is totally. Oh, Johnny is gonna be stressed watching this.
Alright, I'm gonna move us into F1 conference for an interview with Rabbi, because why not? There you go, you should be in. Hello!
Oh my god.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's Rabbi Melko.
Just need to
Hi.
adjust your volume. There you go. Well, that was a lot of chaos, that race. I'm not sure if you got to see what happened at the front at the end there, but it was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. Like that was so unpredictable. The chaos after the second safety car. Like we've had so many drive-throughs, so many people just colliding. I don't really know why, but those final 4 laps were hectic. Like I was just driving my race, accepting the fact that I was gonna salvage 1 point out of this, and then I start seeing people spinning left and right, making contact left and right. Had a scary cameo with Adam and Paul Hill on that final lap, and I had the first row view of that collision between Paul and Ajay at the Wellington Straight. Like it was really, really scary stuff. But at the end of the day, we actually made it work.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously not the greatest start of the race, but you were in the right place at the right time at the end there to pick up some points, and I think you'll be happy with what you've taken away from that race after how it went for you.
Oh, absolutely. Like you've seen the chat already when it was qualifying and we checked the weather and it was full wet with a full wet start and I was like, yeah, I'm just to do damage limitation. I don't mind finishing last at that point. And in the quali, it was really slippery. Like it was like if you were streaming the race, the tag would be beaches, pool, and bathtub. That's how wet it was.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the race, it was rough, especially for me, because I really don't know how to drive on the wet. But fortunately, for me, Adam and Furkan pitted for the intermediate early on in that first safety car, which was a big brain move for both of them. And it helped them. Around the second safety car, now this is where the chaos began. Mcginty pit way too early on the mediums, and I saw him lose around 30 to 40 seconds on his outlap directly. So I knew it was way too early then. And I was like, just please give me one safety car to bring me back into the race. And it happened somehow. And it was around my pit window for the mediums, which was really perfect. So we slotted in, get out really close, and I knew that everyone is gonna get desperate in the closing laps of the race. So all I had to do was bide my time, and it ended up working out. Like my teammate, unfortunately for him, had some damage and had to pit, but he was really going on into the top 5. Adam had some questionable moments there. Like he avoided the carnage, but he got spun and got the penalties, which ended up also benefiting me. Milan Dirksen also was having a great race on those stuff. Like he murdered me with an absolute beauty of an overtake. I'm not sure if you guys caught it up, but
Yeah, you should.
yeah, it was really hectic at the end of the race. And there's that Paul Hill incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting reported. 100% that's getting reported.
Yeah, we'll move on to you now, Adam, as well. You're at the front, fighting for pretty much all that race.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, you made a good strategy call there to get yourself to the front, and then, well, just an absolute nightmare all in one corner.
Yeah, like, I didn't have a great run through Stowe. It sort of tried to snap on me, so I, caught, because, like, I didn't have a wet setup. The quali was like, oh, it's full wet the whole time, and I was like, yeah, but what's the race like? And then, like, my game was like, oh yeah, it's full wet for like an hour, and I was like, okay, we need a wet setup for this. Like, it's not going to dry. We need a wet setup for this, and I didn't have one. I'd done no wet practice whatsoever, had no wet setup or anything. So I actually took my low wing Zandvoort setup, and was like, yeah, this might work, and it was decent. It was okay. Like, I mean, my setup's generally pretty stable, but it was okay. Like, it felt decent enough to drive. It was just every now and then, like, the octopus in the car would try and strangle me, and I'd have to fight it. But yeah, I didn't have a great run through Stowe, so I saw AJ was coming. So I was like, if he's gonna send it down the inside, he's gonna send it down the inside. Like, he's been blitzing fastest laps all race. I'm not realistically gonna hold him off for like 5 laps. Okay, fine. If AJ goes, he goes. And then so I was like, oh, I'll take a line, leave AJ a space, and he'll probably have me by like the second part of Vale, and if not, he'll be in front through Club anyway. And then Matusiak's just like, fuck it, I'm going too. Like, wait, so then I had to like turn out of the corner, and then had to like turn to make the second part, and then, I don't know, got collected by someone, I guess. And then the game's just like, here you go, 4 warnings for getting spun. Like, oh, okay, thanks. So, yeah, I mean, reporting that and stuff, but it was just here you go, here's many warnings, so that was kind of annoying. But yeah, it went surprisingly well. I was sort of looking at the grid before the season, like, yeah, I'm not going to be anywhere here. Like, I might have to pull out some strategy shit out of my ass, like I normally do, to get decent points. Not even like, oh, if I pull out some really good strategies, I can get, like, podiums or whatever. But, like, I need really good strategies for, like, half-decent points. And, yeah. But I was, like, on the phone with Jeff every 5 minutes, like, what's the weather doing? And he was like, so that was helpful.
Yeah. Speaking of earlier, when you mentioned your setup, obviously being a Zandvoort setup with low wings, one thing we noticed was your straight line speed was way lower than everyone else's, and it just seemed like you struggled massively. However, in Sector 1, through those slow speed corners, and especially in the final sector as well, you just gained a stupid amount of time.
Yeah, and I mean, being on a controller, it helped through Maggots and Beckett's as well. Like my normal dry Silverstone setup's like 913 wings, so it's designed to be like a bullet, because you're just difficult to overtake. Like, you end up in a DRS train and just people can't get near you, even if you're a bit slower in certain parts. Like, being on a pad, Maggots and Beckett's is awkward at the best of times. But then, like, I put my Zandvoort one on, and it was 25:31, and it felt a bit twitchy. So when I pit for inters, I actually upped to the front wing to 28 to just try and bed the inters down a bit, because the track was still kind of full wets. And and then I put it on, I think 19, my front wing, when I pit for the softs, and I was like, this is about as low as I can get without it being super rear heavy and it just understeering me everywhere. So I was kind of stuck with it because, like I say, like my weather chart thing, like in quali, it was like, oh yeah, it's gonna rain for an hour in the race. I was like, well, it's not going dry then. I can go like full wet setup.
Yeah.
And then it dried up like halfway through, basically.
Yeah, the weather was definitely unpredictable. Weird.
Yeah, and then the track map at the start was like, well, it's going to be full wet for like 14 laps, like just after midpoint, and then it's going to be inters until like the very last square. So I was like, okay, so if we get a safety car, it might be like dry conditions for like 3 laps at the end, and then it's a choice of, well, do you dive in and stick the softs on, or do you try and hang it out and hope it doesn't dry up fast enough? Which, you know, happened in season 6 Suzuka. Like, try and hang it out, and it failed miserably. So I'd have probably dived in. But then it dried up with like 10 laps left, and it was a bit like, well, shit.
Yeah, it definitely was interesting to see what everyone was doing with the strategies as well. It was a bit of a mess, especially towards that stage when it was swapping to dry. But everyone sort of just got bailed out by a safety car that came not short after, which then pretty much put everyone on an even playing field that they could go for.
Was that Mcginty spinning? Because I found him with
No.
like literally no front wing. So okay.
Yeah, you'll need to go watch it. It was contact between Milan and Jacques.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sort of like PC F1 Britain last season. It's all I'll let you know.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
The one I made a short video on.
Oh, yeah, by the way, your mic is...
Grappling.
Yeah. Just drop Adam's volume down for alright. Anyway, I'm going to quickly drag Dino's race engineer for the racing, and we'll move over to you now, Dino. Well, you were in the right place at the right time, and that managed to get you the race win on penalties after, well, with the strategy it dropped you quite far down the grid.
First of all, I'd like to really congratulate Imtiaz, I think it was, who was in P1.
Yeah.
If there wasn't any penalties, he could have gotten the win, and I had no pace to actually keep up with him at the end of the race. I actually lost quite a few tenths already on those final 2 laps when we all were battling with myself, Hill, Imtiaz, and Moto in the AlphaTauri. So it was quite stressful on those final few laps, but yeah, the strategy, like you said, was a bit difficult to manage. When the first safety car came out, I lost the opportunity to pit for intermediates, so I had to stay out on the wets to not lose a lot of track position. Then when the second safety car came out, that's when we took the dry tires out. I think only 2 people went for mediums. Maybe that could have been the better option, but the softs weren't really wearing out too much, so the confidence loss wasn't really big there. I think we had around 66% at the end, so very near the puncture zone. 69, yes. Sorry. But it was very close to the puncture zone, so thankfully I didn't get a puncture and just cruised to the end.
I'm interested to know what you thought of the collision between Paul Hill and AJ as well. That was definitely a big deciding factor in the race, as I know you were right with those 2. I don't know what you saw of it, obviously, but do you have any comments on that?
Honestly, at that point in time, I wasn't really concentrating on their battle. I was just concentrating on optimizing my lines, because having to go from wet to dry, you have to optimize your lines again. And because I had sort of a wet setup, I was really losing time all around in the corners and on the straight line. So when they collided going into turn 1, I didn't really see what happened. But I only saw they went side by side, and that's it. But honestly, I wasn't really too surprised because I heard lots of crash sounds when Moto was behind me with another guy when he was still catching up. So I was kind of predicting that they would crash. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah. I assume with you having Quill as your engineer, he was informing you about the penalties, and well, AJ actually didn't have a penalty until the end, so I assume that was definitely something you're thinking about, having to re-overtake him, as he managed to get past you at one point. However, then he picked up a penalty a few corners later.
Definitely.
It was a very tight race, and after the first safety car, where we didn't box, we were just thinking about maximizing the result and doing damage limitation. It was actually quite funny because I made the call to box for Inters just after Dino drove past the pit entry on the second lap under the first safety car, which meant we lost 25 seconds or something ridiculous because the pit lane at Silverstone is so long. And then on the second safety car, myself and I think it's Raymond, who was also engineering, we were both saying go for mediums, and then Dino went for softs. And it was very tight. I was estimating about 75% wear at the end. It ended up only being 69, but although Dino will say the tyres felt fine, they definitely were feeling a bit worse than he's leading you on to.
Yeah, we were
Only.
we were sort of debating between well, Lucas and myself if it was the softs would have made it to the end. We knew that initially, that we thought you'd all get past Paul Hill straight away. However, he managed to defend really well and actually stick with him, Chaz, at the front, which gave him an opportunity of, well, winning on track until the collision. And it definitely, there was an obvious point where the mediums were the quicker tyre, as well, that benefited AJ as well. He was also on mediums, and, well, just the pace was shown with that. And, well, unfortunately for them, they collided.
With the tyres is the tyre temperatures, because if we were just boxing under normal green flag conditions, I probably would have gone 2 laps later for softs, because under green flag you have to do the tyre warm up and you lose a lot of time, and the difference between softs and mediums is massive. Mediums and hards is an even bigger gap, but the hards weren't really an option in this race. But as you get to do the warm-up under safety car, the effective delta between the softs and mediums was a lot less, although it is really easy to bin it on the mediums. And also, who was the first to box for slicks? I don't remember.
Bachinski, he went earlier than
we were on our Discord call, we were doing bets as to how many seconds he would lose on the outlap. I said 9, which was a gross underestimate.
Yeah, it was around 30 to 40, like Rabbi informed us earlier.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Like, I've benefited from a dreadful outlap from someone else on dry-ish tracks before, but that was like 3 laps after DRS was enabled. So without the second safety car, we probably would have boxed end of 19 or end of 20, because the inters on this game are just overpowered.
Yeah. Anyways, my final question before I actually have to go is, do you think this is going to be the start of, or do you think you can go back to back with winning the title again in PCF2 after a strong start here for you, Dino?
Definitely not. I don't know how close you actually watched my pace, but it was way far than even I was expecting. I was at the end around 2 seconds slower than the fastest lap, and I was losing a few tenths to the guys in front. Even in the qualifying, like, I had no pace to everyone else. And then during the race, Yes, but in the race as well, like Moto was 2 seconds faster than me in the wet. I don't know how, but he's incredibly fast.
He was
And
2 seconds faster than everyone. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everyone was on your pace except for him.
I don't know how he does that, but I've already mentioned this before. But there is gonna be one instance where I am gonna miss either 2 weekends or 4 weekends. All depends. So I don't think a back-to-back title is gonna be on the cards, but I'm just gonna try to secure the constructors if that's gonna be possible.
Right, well, that's all I've actually got time for. Otherwise, I might have continued with 1 or 2 more questions, but thank you all for joining me, and also thank you to everyone who has watched this race. Next week, where do we head? We head
Miami.
to Miami, yeah. So, same time next week.
60 FPS.
Anyway, make sure to join us again next week, where you'll be able to catch up with all the action again, which I'm sure, especially if Britain was like that, then Miami's probably going to be even more chaotic, and hopefully we'll have a few more drivers on the grid. So, thank you all again for watching, and goodbye.